There's a 5-second window between the instincts, the shoulds, the urges, the inner wisdom, the things that can change your life if you listen to it. Got a 5-second window from the moment you feel that instinct to move. And if you don't, your brain is actually designed to kill it. 5 seconds is all you have. The second you hesitate, and you feel yourself hesitating, that is a moment of huge power, because what's happened is you've just started to pull back from something that you need to lean into. And if you count backwards 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this is the neuroscience behind why this stupid little trick works, counting is an action. Counting backwards requires focus. It's also not a habit for you yet. So when you feel yourself hesitate, you're triggering your mind that something's up. Your mind now goes into a cognitive bias called the spotlight effect. It magnifies whatever it was that you hesitated doing. Like all of a sudden, you're like, hey, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it later. And your mind is doing it because your mind's trying to protect you. Hesitation signals a red flag to your mind that something's up. Just that small hesitation. It's a habit that we all have. Should you hesitate if you're getting a tattoo? Yes. Should you hesitate if you're gambling? Yes. Should you hesitate if you are signing a legal document? Yes. You need your prefrontal cortex for those things. You need to interrupt it, make a decision. Should you hesitate on making a phone call? No. Should you hesitate on speaking up in a meeting? No. Should you hesitate when you feel yourself starting to procrastinate and you know you got work that you should get done? No, you shouldn't hesitate at all. Should you hesitate in saying the thing that you really feel in your heart? No, you shouldn't. Should you hesitate and edit yourself when you're talking? No, you shouldn't. But we've all trained ourselves to. So it's actually this habit of hesitating. You start catching yourself. It's a huge moment of power because you have a decision to make and you got to make it in the next 5 seconds. Are you going to go on autopilot and get trapped in your mind? Or are you going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and awaken your prefrontal cortex and drive forward? You can always control what you think and how you behave. And we spend way too much time trying to focus on manipulating how we feel about things and not enough time practicing the skills of controlling your behavior and your thoughts. A lot of us are sitting around waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel courageous, waiting to feel confident, waiting for the right time, and that's not ever coming. Ever. Ever. You're not going to change your life up here. You only change it through action. We make decisions of feelings. 95% of our decisions are made by how you feel in the moment, and that is the problem. You need to take control of the moment.
We all have that ability. We all have next level ability. There's not other people that aren't holding you back. Your boss isn't holding you back. Your parents aren't holding you back. Those are excuses. To me, there's no such thing as luck, okay? All luck is preparation meeting opportunity, plain and simple. You have to be ready, prepared for that situation.
Like you think that you need to feel confident or courageous in order to get started. You don't. You actually just have to start, and that's the riddle of life. That lying in bed, hoping that you wake up some morning motivated to change, that's not the answer. You actually have to learn how to push yourself. You have to learn how to leverage the power of your decisions, and you've got to learn how to take action when you don't feel like it.
Take action. So many people talk about doing something or say, what if? They don't actually get up and do it. Taking action is really, really important.
My advice is just to focus on each day. And you have a plan in place of how you want to improve and how you want to get better. And you stick to that plan and trust the fact that, every day that you stick to the plan will get you to your end result.
The key to being successful is to work harder than other people. Because everybody wants success. Everybody wants a Lamborghini. Everybody wants freedom. But what are you willing to do to get there?
So much of success is seeing yourself as victorious. You have to see yourself. You have to really believe in yourself. And sometimes it's hard. You've had failures, you've had weaknesses, you've had other things. You have to see yourself as a one-man band. Don't rely too much on other people because they'll let you down. You have to see yourself as victorious.
Anything and everything can be done if you can visualize it, if you believe in yourself.
To be a winner, you have to think like a winner. If you don't think like a winner, it's just never going to happen.
You're going to find the naysayers in every turn that you make. Don't listen. Just visualize your goal, know exactly where you want to go. Trust yourself. Get out there and work like hell and break some of the rules and never, ever be afraid of failure.
The time is now. The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great.
When you look at the accomplishments of accomplished people and you say, boy, that must have been really hard. You know, when you look at something that looks hard, that was probably easy. And conversely, when you look at something that looks easy, that was probably hard. And so you're never going to know which is which until you actually go and do it. So just go and do it, try, learn from it. You'll fail at some things. That's a learning experience that you need so that you can take that on to the next experience. Don't let people who you may respect and who you believe know what they're talking about, don't let them tell you it can't be done. Because often they will tell you it can't be done. It's just because they don't have the courage to try it.
The bridge between reality and a dream is work. And I always, in moments of despair and doubt and dark days, focus on the work. I show up and I work and I work and I work and I work.
You'll never be the best looking, you'll never be the tallest, most talented, most capable, you'll never have the most money. There will always be someone who's better at whatever you're doing than you are. But you can always be the hardest working person in the room. And I think the hardest working person will always win.
Hard work pays. I put in a hell of a lot of work all throughout this build-up in the fight. I pumped out more content than anybody, more content than Fox, more content than ESPN, more content than BT Sport, more content than everybody on the Mag Live on my own channels. You know what I mean? I'm a workhorse from all angles, not just in the gym. I'm building this media empire now myself, and we pumped out the content. I'm very proud of how it went. We consistently, daily movies I was releasing, you know, from like a month ago, every single day. You know what I mean? Nobody's doing that. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm very, like, the work pays, hard work pays.
I don't think there's any magic in being successful. And I'm not talking about making $1 million or $1 billion. I'm just talking about being successful. I don't think there's any magic. You got to work hard. Yeah. You got to respect the people around you, and you just got to go. I've never met a successful person that doesn't work hard.
Everything matters. If you take any situation and just take the word only and take the word just out of it, it changes the whole phrase. It's just a game. It's a game. It's only a job. If you feel like this isn't only a job before this interview is up, I advise you to get up and leave right now. Because there's somebody else who will fill this seat up and take that job and turn it into a career. Be careful of those words, trap words. I'm just going to smoke one cigarette. That shows you their preparation from a mental standpoint of how weak they really are. There's a lot of people that are just a something. There's very few people that are the something, okay? So when people introduce myself as a trainer, I'm like, no, I'm not a trainer, I'm the trainer. It's a huge difference.
So self-doubt, worry, procrastination, overthinking, analysis paralysis, fear, those are all thinking patterns that are habits. One of the most important things that I want people to understand is that you're actually not a worrier. You have a habit of worry. Big difference. You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. Big difference. Every one of those behavior patterns and thinking patterns can actually be interrupted and replaced using science. You can use a simple trick The moment you feel yourself hesitate, the moment you've got one of those moments where you know that you need to, this is that moment that Lewis talks to you about where you got to step outside of your comfort zone and you've got to lean into your passion and you've got to really take some risks and you got to feel the fear and you got to do it anyway. That's the moment where you just woke up and now you got a decision to make. Are you going to drift back into the habits, or are you going to awaken your prefrontal cortex and drive forward and focus and do something new? Do you feel like making that cold call? No, you don't. Do you feel like doing that third set of reps? No, you don't. Do you feel like having that hard conversation? No, you don't. Do you feel like ending this relationship, whether it's in business or in your life, that is sucking you dry? No, you don't. We make decisions based on our feelings, and that is robbing you of joy and opportunity. And it is blinding you from the fact that how you change your life is one 5-second decision at a time, one push at a time. And if you accept the fact that you may never feel ready, and you may never feel motivated, and you may never feel confident, you may never feel courageous, and that's okay, but you can still push yourself forward. What happens over time is, as you start to see yourself becoming the person that takes action, you start to see yourself becoming the kind of person that speaks even though your voice is shaking. You're the kind of person that has a bias toward moving instead of a bias toward thinking. Guess what happens? You build the skill of confidence and courage. It's working for people around the world.
You have to be prepared to take any and every opportunity that's presented to you. All right, nothing's just going to happen. But people don't want to hear the truth, because the truth hurts. But you grow from pain. You really do. You can't know how to deal with success. You can't know how to deal with failures. You can't know how to deal with the bumps in the road that if you haven't had a taste of everything. Okay? And once you remember that bitter taste in your mouth, you never want to feel that again.
You can't control the things that trigger you and the fact that you're going to feel afraid and you're going to feel doubt and you're going to feel uncertain. But you can always interrupt that feeling and take control in the moment and actually shift what you're thinking and shift how you behave.
A lot of you will block your own success because you're fearful of what's going to happen. Because the comfort zone is here. Make a great living, my bills are paid, everything is great. Oh, I'm scared to change. So you block your own growth. So you have to now say to yourself, hey, once you get the tools, once you've done your homework, then you can start making a move to say, okay, hey, I can be a businesswoman, a businessman, and start my own thing. But you gotta believe in yourself first.
You have to actually show up every day and inch yourself forward toward these dreams. And not only show up every day and once in a while inch yourself, I mean every day you have to actually take an action that moves you forward. Not just research, not just thinking. Look, the power of intention is great, but without any initiative, it's dead, right? A dream is great, but without any movement, it's dead. You have to be moving towards every day.
You want to be totally focused. You can't take your eye off the ball.
You cannot lose by taking action. You can only lose by not taking action. And if you delay taking action repeatedly over and over again, you develop the habit of never taking action. You develop the habit of procrastinating and holding back and so on.
Everything in your life happens for a reason. Your responsibility is to look at these things in your life and ask this question, why now?
You need activation energy to start the chain, to start to sit down, to start to get out of bed, to start to walk out the door. That's the key to creating any kind of change. This activation energy inside of you that causes the initial boom. And then what do we hear over time? Once you start, there's a chain reaction, and that allows you to keep going.
You have to act on your passion. You have to act on your inner drive. Don't let those feelings stay inside of you. You got to know what to do with them. You got to know how to make them work in order to get what you want. Don't keep it inside.
You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now.
Everybody, at one point in time in your life, to be successful, you have to jump. Jumping is the hardest thing for people to do, but you have to jump. If you never jump, you'll never be successful. When you first jump, I guarantee you the parachute ain't gonna open. I promise you that. But guess what? Eventually it does open. And then you start your glide. But it starts with the jump. You have to jump, man.
No matter how painful it is, I gotta keep going. And I gotta keep going because what is my passion? What is my focus? Your focus and your passion will numb you to failure and to pain of striving to get to where you're trying to go.
I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping and I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win. Some days I don't. But each and every day, I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle. And I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws.
So literally, without goals, you're directionless. You will be used. See, people without goals get used by other people who have them. People that don't have goals work for people who do. And so you want to be someone who picks up and gets clear about what you want. Make a list, 101 goals. I want to go to Paris. I want to, skydive. I want to bungee cord jump. I want to play the guitar. I want to learn to juggle. I want to learn 2 magic tricks for the kids. I want to go to the Olympics in Beijing. Whatever it is, make the list.
You have to delete all the negativity in the world and focus on things that make you feel great. So you could focus on a relationship you have. You could focus on how much you've already learned in the last 6 or 7 or 8 days. You could focus on the people that love you. You could focus on your ability as a human being to change your life at any moment in time.
You have to be crazy in believing what your goal and your passion is. Because when something is crazy, even though it's crazy, you still do it, right?
Every single person is designed from infancy with special talents and abilities that if you develop them to their height can enable you to accomplish anything you want in life. Everyone is genetically structured to be able to do something superbly, to do something they enjoy, to do it well, and to get great satisfaction from it.
There is no capability difference between you and someone you consider to be an ultimate role model of success. The only difference is they've learned to use their mind and body with more power on a consistent basis. They've learned to manage their state. They've learned to use their body effectively. Whether they know it or not consciously doesn't matter. A lot of people do things without being aware of how they do it. And they've learned to control their mental focus. Remember, whatever we concentrate our focus on consistently and strive to learn from and make new distinctions about, we will get great at.
I want to reassure you that you can do it. I want you to reassure you that you can make the decisions. I want to reassure you that no matter what the night, no matter what the storm, no matter what the difficulty, there isn't anybody here that can't figure it out, find some things to do, step at a time, yes. Minute at a time, yes. Day at a time, yes. Week at a time, yes. But there isn't anything you can't walk away from. There isn't any challenge you can't overcome. I want you to have that kind of belief in yourself.
You've got to believe in yourself. You just have to. And then you do it. You see it, you believe it, and then you do it.
You know, to be great, I think you have to fight. And I very much think that my success is a product of some level of skill, but I do think I win because I outwork people. I really do believe that. I do believe that 100%.
I realized that information changes situations. And so I'd rather buy a book than buy a house. Because if I buy a book, I can buy several homes. You can take all my money out the bank. It might hit me, ooh. But if you take the knowledge out of my head and take the experiences that I have, I'm broke, I'm nothing. The problem with most people is that you're not obsessed with improving.
Every day work harder on yourself than anything else. Because if you become more intelligent, more valuable, more skilled, you can add more value to other people. All you have to focus on in your life is find a way to add more value than anybody else does, and you'll never have to worry about anything. Be the person that does more for others, and life will just be anything you want out of it, really is what it is.
I'm here, all of my dreams and aspirations are here, and the only thing in between these two is a bunch of work. So tackling that work is a way of moving this needle.
So listen to me, there are those of you who said, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. That you're spending more money than you're making. Why? Because you're a consumer, but you're reading all the books and you're saying everything the books are saying. But those books are not in alignment with your values. And if you're gonna go to the next level, your values are gonna have to change.
Life is like this super temporary, mega fragile thing. You only get like a nugget of time to really pursue the things you care about.
We have to understand what we're good and bad at, and you have to let go of what you're bad at. You have to. If you're naturally bad at singing like I am, you shouldn't put your career and your life in a position to become a professional singer. It's a bad idea.
In life, you should only ever be doing one of two things, and that is figuring out what you're most passionate about, like finding your dreams in life. And then two, realizing those passions, realizing those dreams.
When you're not clear on what you want, like you get up whenever you feel like it, you don't have no drive, you don't have no passion, and so when people ask me, E, where your passion come from? Where your drive come from? I know what I want. I'm talking about knowing what you want, because when you know what you want, that's where the drive comes from. That's where the passion comes from.
Keep yourself extremely busy. As long as you're doing something, you will find your path. It's when you get lazy that everything becomes skewed, everything becomes gray or foggy.
Your life comes down to your decisions, and if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
I think life is substantiated by whatever impact or whatever contribution you can make while you're alive. The finish line's the same for everyone. We're all ending up in the same place, but while we're here, what contribution can you make? Life shrinks and life expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk. The most dangerous thing you can do in your career, the most dangerous thing you can do in life is play it safe.
If you want to affect the world, you have to change yourself first. Everybody tries to go out and change the world by changing other people and other things. But the real way to do it is by changing yourself. And sometimes making those really uncomfortable choices to go up against everyone in your life that you look up to and take that risk.
When I visit students, I also tell them that the greatest risk they take is not taking one, which, by the way, Miss Martinez taught me that. And I use it to this day. Anytime I feel that I feel nervous, like I feel right now, I take the risk. And for all the students, for all the teachers, and for all the educators here, we have to take risk. If we don't take that risk, I go back to it. It's the biggest risk that we take.
It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it.
Everybody has time. Stop watching fucking Lost. If you want this, if you want bling bling, if you want to buy the jets, if you want to do work.
You're one of the world's richest people. Your company is one of the world's richest companies.
He is, without question, one of the greatest business leaders, investors, philanthropists of all time, the Warren Buffett.
If we want to change the world, we change ourselves. Change ourselves is more important and easier.
You're your own biggest asset by far. I mean, you've got all kinds of potential. Most people go through life using up a very, very small part of their potential. And so anything you do that invests in yourself, that's the best investment you can possibly make.
To transform what you see on the outside, you've got to transform who you are on the inside.
Just like a human grow, this body can never grow. Certain time, the slow of growth of the body is slow, but you should grow your mind, grow your culture, grow your value, grow your wisdom.
You control your destiny. You can create what you want to create. You have gifts that nobody else on the planet has. You have talent. You have everything. Everything you need to become whatever you want is right here.
Believe what you're doing, love it, whether people like it, don't like it, be simple. And like the word, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you can get, right? I never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Charlie Rose. I never know.
I just made one choice when I was 16 years old that I was no longer going to be a victim, and that I was going to be a hero to myself, and that I was going to change my life. And I had no idea that it would lead me here, and no idea I'd be here in this set, talking to you, doing what we're doing. No idea. It was never part of the plan. The only thing I knew is I didn't want to be the victim and this other trajectory of life. I wanted something different, so I made that choice.
The choices you make today, tomorrow, they might affect you for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, or for the rest of your life.
A lot of young people lose hope, lose vision, and start to complain.
What does being a victim get you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if you're getting nothing from one direction, why not turn around and go to the other direction? Path of victimization is nothing. Path of hero, you might as well give it a shot, and all the different cool things that happen along the way are just amazing.
There's never a lack of opportunity. Never. If you don't think there's an opportunity there, you haven't found it. And so it's not the opportunities, it's you.
Remember, the mind controls the body does not control the mind. What makes these guys special and successful in everything they do is not their physical gifts, it's their mental toughness.
Things are just happening, and it's because of one choice, and that's it. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking you've made all these different choices and your life is in one direction, make one different choice. Just one, and see where it goes.
The most important thing is that you have a vision, that you have a goal. Because without that vision and without that goal, again, you're drifting around and you're never gonna end up anywhere. People don't become successful just by accident.
I would follow my passion. I mean, whatever turns you on. You know, I was lucky. I found something early that turned me on. But you don't want to take a job just for the money. You don't want to take a job for an organization that you really don't feel good about, or work for people that you don't feel good about. You really want to be excited when you get out of bed every morning. Follow your passion.
Do something you're very passionate about, and don't try to chase what is kind of the hot passion of the day.
You got to know what you're good at, you got to know what you're marginal at, and you got to know what you suck at. And you've got to find people who complement your skills, you know, and you got to know what type of thinker you are, you got to know how you work, you know. And once you start to understand who you are, then you can start finding places where you'll be successful, and you won't be lying to yourself.
You can have any habit you want to be. You can be lazy, you can be prompt, you can be late, you can be honest, you can cut corners. I mean, you have all these choices. And those are choices for you to make. Nobody else is going to make them for you. And I would suggest that you play this little game with me too. Think about the person you would most like to be in life. So maybe it's one of your contemporaries, maybe it's somebody a little older, but pick out the person you admire the most, the person that you'd change places with if you could. And then write down why you admire them. Just put it on a piece of paper. And then figure out the person that you would least like to change places with you, who really turns you off, who you find repulsive. And list the reasons why that person turns you off so much. And then look at that list. And you'll find that everything on the left-hand side, what you admire in other people, the qualities they bring to life, you'll find those are things you can do yourself. It's very simple. You got to apply yourself, but the habits you form in doing that early on will carry you through life. If you do that, 2 or 3 years from now, if you go through the same exercise, you'll find out that the person you admire the most is yourself.
Baby steps count too, as long as you're going forward. And one day you add all those baby steps up and you might be surprised at where you can get to.
So you got to really have a specific goal. And to me, to have that vision that I want to be Mr. Universe, that I want to be the greatest bodybuilder of all time, that was a great vision, and that specifically to look like Reg Park and to be up there on that stage and to lift the trophy overhead and to win the championship over and over and over again. So that was a great goal. I put pictures of Reg Park and of Sonny Liston, of boxers and of Ali and of powerlifters and weightlifters all over my bedroom wall, so that every day when I go to sleep, every day when I wake up, I look at those pictures and they motivate me. You need that motivation, and then therefore you have this kind of imprint in front of you all the time, and you know exactly what you're chasing.
The people you look up to are going to form your vision of what the world, how you want to be in later life.
This is why I always smiled when I was in the gym. People always came up to me and says, "Why are you smiling? You're working out 5 hours a day. You're doing the same as the other guys, but the other guys have a sour face. They're pissed off that they have to do another rep or another set or something." I looked forward to another 1,000 reps of sit-ups. I looked forward to another 500 pounds of leg press or squat. I looked forward to doing more and more curls until my arms fall off. Why? Because I knew that every rep that I did and every set that I did and more weights that I lifted, I get one step closer to turning that vision into reality.
You have to act on your passion. You have to act on your inner drive. Don't let those feelings stay inside of you. You got to know what to do with them. You got to know how to make them work in order to get what you want. Don't keep it inside.
Most of you are not doing what you want to do with your life because you're worried about somebody else's opinion.
Don't let anybody steer you away from where you want to be in life. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your guidance counselors. If you have a passion and you feel confident that you can do it, go after it. The hell with everybody else. This is your life. You have the tools and resources. When you wake up every day, know that you're blessed and you've been given an opportunity that most people in life have not. You have the ability to live your dreams.
Decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. Good, great, unstoppable. Every team, every work atmosphere, no matter what you do, must consist of those 3 personalities. If you have those 3 personalities and you can identify the individuals that have those 3 personalities, you're guaranteed success in whatever you do.